Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Trailmakers, and today we're going to be messing with wheels on water. Not to be confused with water wheels, which look like this. But the inspiration of this video actually comes from a while ago when I said I was going to do this, and I completely forgot about it. But we have a block editor mod, and if I spawn in a vehicle here, in this block editor mod, you can select a block and then change values such as the mass, the buoyancy, and the health. So I can go ahead and change the buoyancy of wheels from 0.1 to, let's say, 10. And now when these wheels interact with the water, they're going to behave very differently. As you can clearly see, look at this, there we go. And now we've got wheels on water. I was wondering, this is my first test with this. I had no idea if these were gonna have any type of friction on the water. I didn't exactly expect as much, but it seems like we're pretty much floating right now. We're not really driving, we're just floating. But I believe I have thrust, so here we go. This is something. Can I turn? Oh my goodness, I can actually turn. I wonder if that's the wheel angle turning us, or if it's my seat controls that are turning us. All right, so I'm gonna build a car whose purpose is dedicated to this, so I've learned that I'm definitely gonna need some type of thrust other than engines. So normally the only way to drive on water is via boat or hover pads, but this time we're going all wheels. All right, so I'm gonna do my best to build myself a basic car here to drive on water, and then we'll get to some testing. I have a handful of interesting ideas that I wanna try out when it comes to driving on water. All right, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got the car here. Very, very basic, lightweight, which is kind of the point. But now, let's go ahead and test it out without the mod. We're gonna have completely normal settings, just so we can compare and contrast, you know, what it's like between a normal car and a wheels set to buoyant car. I do the sentences good. Okay, well, that's what happens. Let's try one more time. Just gonna gently roll into the water and get ejected. All right, so not really surprising there. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect. So let's see, how buoyant do these wheels need to be? I'm gonna try 5. I did 10 for the intro vehicle just because I knew that was gonna be more than enough. Let's see if 5 can make us float. All right, all the wheels have been increased from 0.1 to 5 buoyancy. Is that enough to keep us on the water? No, they kind of act more like pontoons than water wheels. Let's bump it up to 7. All right, it's getting a little bit better. I want it to be so that it's actually just the wheels in the water. And you know what? 10 may have been the sweet spot. So let's try 10. These are different wheels too. These are small wheels instead of the big wheels like I showed in the intro. So it could be a buoyancy per area, which would mean that 10 buoyancy would have a much bigger effect on the bigger wheels. But I don't know if that's how it actually works. Let's see what 10 feels like on these. You know what? This is pretty close. Here, let's just drive around like this and see how it feels. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We're going to nose down into the water, and we're going to catch that water. Oh, boy. I feel like it's going to happen at any moment now. That nose is going to dip just enough below the water, and we're going to catch it and nose dive. We might need some type of, what do you call it? Hydrofoil device in the front where it's just like maybe even an upside down spoiler. I don't know if that actually affects the water that much, but surprisingly it hasn't happened yet. Oh boy, I really thought it was gonna happen sooner, especially seeing that wedge get under the water a little bit sometimes. Here, let's slow down, and by slow down I mean just start gliding because I have no brakes. I have no brakes on the water. All right, we're gonna need some air brakes. I'm figuring out all the stuff that's missing from a water driving vehicle now. Which is not a boat, not a boat. Just because I'm a vehicle that drives on water does not mean I am a boat, okay? This is different. This is a car that drives on water. Oh, there we go. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to disable the air control. Okay, the inconvenient thing about this mod when it comes to the buoyancy values is I can't press delete to respawn. It'll negate all of the values that I put on it. So I have to either press the repair button or just drive myself out of the water. Okay, so let's disable air control and let's see if turning still works in the water here. Because I don't know if it was the... Oh, wow. So that's really cool. I like that a lot. It is actually the wheel turning that is catching the water. I wasn't sure if it would like register that as physics because the wheels seem to be an interesting object when it comes to physics calculations in Trailmakers, but this seems to actually work the way that you would expect it to work in real life. When the wheels angle in the water, it catches the water and turns you. Okay, so now we're definitely gonna need to have some brakes. And I'm also gonna put an upside down spoiler in the front and see if that helps with my nose on the water. All right, there we go. We now have brakes. It actually looks pretty cool when it comes out like that. But when I press S, we should be able to actually brake on the water. Not break our creation, I hope, but slow down. Homophone. All right, so the interesting thing, the spoiler seems to have no real effect. I think I need to actually use like a wing block or something under there. But let's go ahead and try out not the brakes first. We're just gonna slow down. We're actually slow down pretty fast. Let's pick up some speed again and see how the air brakes work now. And slow down. Oh yeah, much better. We can't come to like a complete stop very easy because the slower we go, the less effect the air brakes have. But so far this seems to be working all right. And I think I want to add slightly more buoyancy onto the tires, maybe like 12, because right now it still feels like we're sinking. There we go. This feels more natural. This is 15 buoyancy per wheel. And I think this is doing pretty well. So now I want to add an actual hydrofoil onto the front so that when our nose dips down, it kind of resists against the water more than it has been. Although it doesn't seem to be that much of an issue lately with this new buoyancy value. But man, I'm really surprised at how well it turns. I was not expecting it to turn that well with just wheel resistance. All right, check this out. I got this paddle underneath the car that is at like 10 degrees, and it is actually keeping my wheels up. It's working out great. Keeps my nose up out of the water, and I think... Oh, I need to get back to land. I'm going a little far away now because I can't actually respawn. But I think I can actually change this so it's sensor triggered, because I don't think sensors trigger on the water. So then as soon as it stops detecting the ground underneath the vehicle, it's going to put that down. All right, check it out. It actually worked. I'm going to let myself roll into the water. Watch the fin on the front there. There we go. It puts itself down as soon as we get onto the water. And I've realized now that this has no reverse. There's no way for me to reverse on the water. But I think that this is working exactly as intended so far. And I think what we have right now is the basic idea that I wanted to accomplish. I have some more complex ideas, but I want to see how it compares to this. But this is just wheels on the water. It looks like we're driving on the water, but there's one issue I have with this, and that is that we're thruster powered, and the wheels are only really there for turning and buoyancy. They're not really propelling us in any way like wheels should be. But as far as like water car goes, this thing actually works awesome. It feels like it's going so fast. It's picking up the water. It feels like we're going across the water. This is what I wanted in the vehicle. This is really, really fun. It's also pretty drifty, which is also kind of fun. But let's get back on land here. I'm going to save this as my first design. And look at the brakes, dude. The brakes work so well. And I want to try a design where we're powered by the wheels, or some type of wheel, like maybe a water wheel. So my plan is to keep the wheels as my only source of buoyancy, but I'm going to experiment by putting a helicopter servo on these things. But the problem with this is the helicopter servos are not the same dimensions as a wheel, so it's always going to be off center. But here's what I'm curious about. I know if I have these facing sideways like this, they're going to work much more like a paddle, but I'm curious if this is going to be enough because it looks so much cooler. It has more of that throwing star kind of aesthetic to it. There, let's just slap 4 of these on here and see how it feels. All right, this is a little awkward because I'm obviously driving on these instead of the wheels on the ground, but I have an idea for that. I just want to see if this is possible. Oh boy. Oh boy, I also forgot about, oh no. I forgot about the whole equal and opposite reactions thing. These things create a massive amount of torque, which just sends me underwater. And they also just seem to not be working at all. All right, well, in that case, let's just turn everything sideways and hope for the best. All right, here we go. Oh, that is definitely better, noticeably. Where's my vehicle though? It's kicking up so much water. This definitely seems to be something. It's a wheel that is making us go on the water, and I am not using thruster power. Interestingly, it seems to be almost worse at turning. All right, let's see what our max speed is here, because I'm going to replace these tail fins with powered tail fins because they tend to have a lot more air resistance and therefore water resistance as well. And it looks like our max speed is 27. So let's see if powered versions of these are going to make me go faster than 27. All right, now they are powered tail fins. Can we go faster than 27 with these? Yes, we can. 31. A whole 4 kilometers an hour. Wow, we're cruising now. Look at how much cruise we are. Very cruise. The turning is even worse on these ones. What is this? All right, here, let's use thruster assist. Oh my goodness. The aerodynamics of these fins is having the opposite force of the turning direction that we're going. So if I use thrusters to make myself go even faster, you'll see that when I try to turn left, it actually turns me right just because they're catching the wind in that direction. So these are absolutely terrible. All right, so now let's move on to a different idea. All right, you know what's even worse than those ideas? This idea. But actually, if I don't max out the throttle right away, we can go. And this thing actually turns way better than the aerodynamic ones, but we're just so much slower. Actually, I have the throttle maxed out now. I just have to ramp up slowly into it. So yeah, this is about 9 kilometers slower than the regular tail fins sideways. Okay, there's another one. There's another one I want to try then. There's no way this couldn't be a bad idea, right? Using the big tail fins. I might have to add some more buoyancy to these things for this one. Oh, look at this going backwards. Going backwards is great. Going forwards is not. Why is going forwards not great? Come on, get up there. Do the buoyancy thing. Yeah, we just need more buoyancy. That's all. I'm going to put these up to 20. 30 buoyancy. Man, this feels like it's going to be so much more powerful, but then it like digs our way under the water. Oh, no, we're on top of the water. Oh my, what is happening to the side there? Whoa. There's some weird effect. It just works better backwards. That's it. It just works better backwards. Other than the fact that it literally doesn't turn at all. Oh no, the wheels aren't even on the water anymore. How come when it goes forward, it goes underwater? That is so weird. All right, well, if you want to be restricted to going backwards and have virtually no turning, then the large tail fins are for you. I actually do kind of want to see this thing on the land, though. It's so stupid. All right, I got an interesting one to try here, and this one requires a different way of attaching the helicopter servo. All right, so this is what it's like on land. Works perfectly normal, nothing wrong here. Man, these seems to have a lot of torque compared to the other ones. This might not be good. All right, here goes nothing. Okay, we're on the water. These actually kind of seem to be hitting the water like I wanted them to. Maybe they're a little bit too high. I could lower them by a block. Man, it is so I can't do the throttle too much because the torque is so high on these ones. Here, I'm gonna lower them 1 block closer to the water. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more traction in the water. All right, how's that looking? It's actually looking pretty good. Man, these must be heavier blades than the tail fins. Let's check the weight, because these have way more of a torque effect. So the tail fin was 6 kilograms. These are 3.3. That is not what I was expecting, unless the engine has something to do with it. No, the engine works like the same way. This is weird. I would expect less weights spinning to have less torque. Unless because it's less weight, they're spinning faster and the speed causes more torque, but I don't know. I'm not a physicist. I'm not an engineer. I'm sure the experts in the comments will let me know what's going on here. But hey, we can do this. This is kind of cool, right? What is even going on here? This is awesome. We're not really going anywhere, but we're looking cool doing it. Well, trying out these different water wheels have definitely been a learning experience. I've learned that torque is a really big factor on the water. So despite my attempts to create something that was truly a water wheel functionality, none of them were as fun or satisfying as just driving on top of the water with wheels like this. Like, look at this. This is so fun. This is actually really fun, really cool to see. It looks like what I'm trying to do, although we're technically cheating because the wheels aren't giving us any thrust or momentum or traction at all. But they do give us turning, and I think that that is a redeeming quality. This is the best turning vehicle out of all of them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this, you'll probably enjoy some more stuff on the channel that you can check out on the end screen right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.